Tayo, and welcome to another episode of BuzzBox. I think it's week 20.
Week 20, yeah, it is.
Yeah, the NHL season. I'm Bert.
I'm Clay.
And, we're going to tell you all about all of the fun things
Happening in the NHL?
happening in the NHL. There's no trades or, firings or anything this week, I don't think.
No.
So, no fun in there. But we're getting close to the trade deadline.
We are close. We are
It's about to be March 1st, which means we're 20 days away.
Yeah, it's the 21st.
Yeah, the 21st is the deadline. So, that's coming up. So, the trade market should pick up soon, I would think. But before we get to anything, Clay, what are we drinking this week?
We are drinking Brewdog.
Brewdog.
Hazy Jane.
Yeah.
New England style IPA. They are brewed in Columbus, Ohio.
They are.
We got one.
Shout out Blue Jackets.
We got one.
Yeah, I just found this by chance at the store, so I'm pretty excited about it.
It says,
Well, I'm not excited that it's an IPA, but
embrace the opaque.
embrace the opaque.
Which,
That's not too bad for an IPA. It doesn't have that horrible aftertaste that most IPAs have,
this is very yummy.
where it tastes like you're licking a pine tree.
I've never had Brewdog before, so this
I know.
is
I'm not sure that I have.
this is yummy.
I have family in Columbus, so I guess I can't say that I never have had it.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
It is good though. But anyway, I'll start us off this week.
Yep.
And we're going to start in the East. And you know, when I roll in the East, it's in the Metro. Oh boy. I'm sorry, I've had a rough few days.
This is what we're doing?
I've had a rough few days.
I mean, I'm for it, but this is what we're doing.
No, that's going to be it. Carolina went 3-0 this week. They beat Philly in overtime, shut out Columbus, and then beat Edmonton. Their overall record, oh hi Ruthie, yeah, you can come up. Their overall record is 37-11-4. Can you lay down?
Is that the best?
No, Colorado is the
Oh,
best.
okay, yeah.
They were 2 for 8 on the power play, 11 for 11 on the penalty kill this week.
That's what you want.
Freddie Anderson had a great week this week. 3-0, played all 3 games, obviously.
Yep.
130 goals against average, 956 save percentage, and a shutout. Unfortunately, Tony DeAngelo
Oh, yeah.
is out for about a month with an abdominal injury.
Yeah, I saw that.
Not on the IR yet. I assume he will be soon.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I
Although
don't
his
know.
cap hit really isn't a ton. But in either direction, he's out about a month with an abdomen injury
Does
of
the
some sort.
IR affect the cap? I thought
Yeah.
it was just the LTIR.
Nope.
Oh, well,
If
that
you go on
makes sense.
IR, your cap hit comes off. The long-term injured reserve is... Can you just lay down? I can't see Clay. I'm not talking to you about hockey. Stop biting me. My dog is the worst. She's a goblin. You're gonna fall off the couch now. Anyway, no, the IR, if you put a player on the IR, their cap hit gets taken away. The long-term injured reserve, that does something different to the cap, and there's, I don't know, that's a little bit more complicated.
Gotcha.
Because
I
there's
learned something today.
percentage that you can go over the cap with the LTIR or something or other. I don't know. But anyway, Tony DeAngelo out about a month with an abdominal injury.
That's not good.
Moving on to Columbus, who had an alright week. They went 2 for 2. 2 and 2, sorry. They did beat Toronto in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Also beat Florida. Got shut out by Carolina, like I just mentioned, and then played a very closely contested game against Pittsburgh, but they did lose 3-2.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh scored in the last 4 minutes of the game or something like that to take the lead to win. But they played 3 of the top teams in the East right now, and they had a pretty good showing for it. Their overall record, 27-25-1. Very respectable record, honestly, for a team that I say this all the time, but a team that I don't think anybody thought was going to be super good this year, but they're competitive at the very least.
If they keep playing like this, or like they have the past 2 weeks,
Can you lay down?
you have a chance to make a push.
They're still 10 points
I
behind
agree, but
in the playoffs, but
another team you're talking about
yeah,
has been struggling. So.
I'll get to them last in the Metro. But yes, they have been, but they still have a 10-point lead on Columbus for that last playoff spot right now. Can you stop being the most annoying creature in the world? She's sitting directly between me and Clay and will not let me look at Clay.
Yeah, it's fine. Nothing to look at.
Going back to Columbus, they were 1 for 9 on the power play, 13 for 15 on the penalty kill this week.
Yep.
Jack Roslovic and Jakub Voracek both had 4 points this week, and Patrick Laine had 3 goals this week. So
He's been on a
he's
goal
been killing
streak.
it. Yeah, he's been killing it. His point streak did end this week, but
Did? Oh,
yeah,
I thought he was at like 9 games.
well, they did get shut out by Carolina.
Oh yeah,
so.
that's true. That's fair.
So it was
Forgot
at like,
about
it
that.
was at like 10 or 11 games,
You
but
just told me.
I told you twice even.
I know.
Unfortunately, Jonas Corposalo is on the IR with a lower body injury.
Well, that's not good.
So he, I believe, was day-to-day last week because I remember we were talking about JF Berube playing for them. He played 3 of these games this week.
Yeah,
Berube,
he got some wins.
and he won 2 of them.
Yeah.
But he's feeling saucy today.
Drinking my beer.
Elvis Merzlikins is back from injury, but now it's him and Berube as their goalies,
Gotcha.
while Corposalo is on the IR. Moving on to New Jersey, who had kind of a weird week. They beat the crap out of the Penguins, 6-1 in their game that they played against them.
Yep.
But then lost 8-5 to Chicago. So a lot of goal scoring for New Jersey this week.
Oh, this week was crazy.
Yeah, this week
with goal
was
scoring.
pretty weird with scores and some things that happened. So that was 1-1 on the week for New Jersey, 18, 29, and 5 overall. 2 for 7 on the power play. Both of those power play goals were against the Penguins, and 4 for 8 on the penalty kill. They were 1 for 4 against Chicago. Jesper Bratt had 4 goals and an assist this week, so he had a good week. And yeah, that's it for New Jersey. They're kind of just drifting along towards the bottom of the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
Down near them are the New York Islanders, who went 2-1-1 this week, so a pretty good week. They beat Seattle. They lost to the Sharks in shootout. Sorry. I had the Sharks written as NJS.
That's not
so
what
I
they
got
are.
confused. Yeah. Can you stop already? Like, what are you crying about? That's what I thought. They then lost to LA, but finished off the week by shutting out Anaheim. 0 for 9 on the power play, 8 for 10 on the penalty kill this week. Their overall record is 20, 21, and 8.
Yeah.
So,
Redo.
I hate you, Ruthie. We're not redoing shit. Ilya Sorokin is their top player this week with 2.
Do it live.
We're doing it live. With a 2-0-1 record, 162 goals against average, 943 save percentage, and shutout this week. Yeah,
Good for him.
So that's the Islanders. They had an alright week. A team that had kind of a rough week for the first time in a while is the Rangers.
Yep.
Who did go 1-2 this week. Beat Washington to start the week out, but then got shut out by Pittsburgh, and then lost to Vancouver, too. That game against Pittsburgh, I watched the whole thing. It was a great game. If that is a preview of, or I watched most of that game. If that's a preview of the first round of the playoffs, that's going to be a fun, well, not for me, but it'll be a fun playoff game.
I watched the entire Vancouver game. Oh, they got their butts kicked.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they were still a little disappointed with how things happened in Pittsburgh, because Shesterkin played great against the Penguins, but they just got a late goal against them, a late power play goal against them, and yeah, that's very likely going to be the first round matchup.
So I saw some advanced stats for the Rangers.
Look at this nerd over here.
Yeah, I know.
Advanced stats.
It wasn't. I can't tell you what they were, but basically what they showed was the Rangers' defense isn't that good, but Shesterkin's playing out his mind.
Good, yeah.
So when Georgiev was in goal
for Vancouver,
the Vancouver game,
it
shows.
Yeah, that's the thing is
so that might not work out in their favor in a playoff run.
No, I saw advanced stats for goalies, which is I think this is the first year I've seen advanced stats for goalies.
It is for me too.
And the main one I've seen is expected goals allowed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that takes into account like high risk chances and all of that stuff. And Shesterkin is way high.
Oh, he's
on
killing
that.
it.
He's having a fantastic season. He's betting odds favorite to win the Vezina at the very least. And I've seen people saying he might win the Hart too, which it takes a lot for a goalie to win the Hart, but he's having a very good season.
Yeah, it's been a long time since a goalie's
I think the last one was Price, and that was a decade plus ago.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not out of the realm of possibilities. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. It's just it's hard for goalies to win the Hart.
Well, if they go on a deep playoff run because of him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if he stays strong throughout the season, he'll definitely win the Vezina.
Right.
And he at least will probably get votes for Hart.
Yeah.
Hart is MVP. In case you guys didn't know, there are actually 2 MVPs. The NHL's weird.
Yeah.
The Hart and then the Lindsay.
The Lindsay, okay.
Art Ross's points is just
gotcha.
the points winner. The Hart Trophy is, I believe, voted on by writers, and then the Lindsay is voted on by players.
Gotcha.
So sometimes not the same guy wins wins the trophies. I remember distinctly one year, Ovechkin.
Yep.
This was in 2010 or something like that.
Yeah.
Won the Hart. But did not win the Lindsay, and Crosby won the Lindsay.
Oh, that's fun.
Because what happened was Ovechkin had a really good second half of the season.
Yeah.
Crosby just had a very good season, but because of this is just my speculation,
Oh,
but because of recency,
100%.
the writers were just like Ovechkin wins.
That happens all the time.
But then the players were like, well, he was better the whole season, So usually it's the same guy who wins both, but sometimes you see different guys win it.
I like that they have 2.
I like that too.
Writers can be stupid.
Yeah, they can. And a lot of times it's the same guy who wins the Hart. Ross. Mm-hmm. Although I do remember, I think when Taylor Hall won the Hart, that was another year that someone else won the Lindsay.
Yeah,
I believe. And I remember I thought Claude Giroux was going to win it that year because he had like 115 points or something, and he got no votes for it, which is ridiculous.
Because he plays for Philadelphia.
Philly had a good year too. Giroux was like, I thought he was at least going to get votes for it.
Well, it's because Taylor Hall dragged the Devils kicking and screaming into the playoffs.
Yeah, no, you're right, but it's just, I don't know, it's dumb. You know what else is dumb? The Coach of the Year award, because it's just the team that did. It's basically the most improved team award, which is dumb because I can't believe Mike Sullivan has never won this trophy yet.
Right.
Look at what he has done with all of the injuries the last several years, where everybody's like, "Oh, all these guys are out for the Penguins. Obviously, they're not going to make the playoffs." And then they make the play, and then they win the division.
Right.
Stupid. Anyway, Philadelphia went. Did I finish the Rangers? I don't think I did.
No.
They're 33, 15, and 5 on the season. 0 for 7 on the power play, 5 for 7 on the penalty kill.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Shesterkin was their best player. He played 2 of those games, the one that they beat Washington and the one where they did lose to Pittsburgh, but he played great in both games.
Only allowed 1 goal.
Yeah, in each of them. His goals against actually averaged out to be 1.01 because he didn't play the last 2 minutes against Pittsburgh because they pulled the goalie. But 968 save percentage as well. Very good. This dog just trying to ruin everything. Philadelphia went 1-1-1 this week. They lost to Carolina in a shootout, lost to St. Louis outright, and then beat Washington.
Yep.
16, 26, and 10 is their overall record. 0 for 7 on the power play, 4 for 5 on the penalty kill.
They're bad.
Yeah, they're bad. We don't have to belabor a point. I think we say this every week about Philadelphia. They're, like, shockingly bad. They do not get a top player this week, and Wade Allison is on the IR with a knee injury. Pittsburgh is up next. 2-1 this week. They did get stomped by New Jersey, like I mentioned before, but they came right back and shut out the Rangers, and then won a close game against Columbus as well.
Yep.
33, 14, and 8 is their overall record.
Were they second in the division?
Yes, as it stands right now. With that win over the Rangers, they overtook second, but the Rangers are only 2 points behind them, I think, with a couple games in hand. So the Rangers could be back in front of them fairly easily.
Yeah.
They were 3 for 10 on the power play, which I think I said, 6 for 8 on the penalty kill. Evgeny Malkin is their top player this week, 3 goals and an assist. And Mike Matheson, unfortunately, is week to week with an upper body injury, which sucks because he was having a pretty good season.
Yeah.
So I'm sure. I think he'll be back for the playoffs, but he's not on the IR yet.
It's only week to week.
It's only week to week, so he could be back next week for
100%.
all anybody knows. Washington did not have a good week.
Nope.
Losing to the Rangers, losing to Philadelphia for an 0-2 record on the week. 28, 17, and 9 is their overall record. 1 for 7 on the power play, 4 for 4 on the penalty kill. No top player.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on with Washington. They're just like rough straits right now. They're, like I said, they're the team that is ahead of Columbus for that last playoff spot, and they have a 10-point lead on Columbus. However, it keeps eroding away slowly. So if they don't turn things around, it could start to be worrisome.
I still saw that, like, if they could play, if Washington could play at 500 pace for the rest of the season.
Yeah, they'll probably make the playoffs.
And Detroit and Columbus both have to play at, like, 75% to actually catch them.
Right, yeah.
So that's not looking good, but it's still possible. Crazier things have happened.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would imagine they're still going to make the playoffs, but they got to get some momentum before the playoffs start, or they're going to get bounced real quick against whoever the top seed is. Yeah, I don't know about anybody, but I mean, they beat the Penguins a few times. Not that they're going to play the Penguins, but
they beat the Penguins once.
You beat them twice. I'm pretty sure. A few weeks ago, and then towards the beginning of the season.
Oh, I thought you were talking about playoff series.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I just meant this season.
Oh, yeah.
So they might be able to beat that.
They beat some good teams.
When the playoffs start, anything can happen. But
100%.
like, usually, at least in the first round, the team that comes in with the more momentum is probably going to win.
Yeah.
Now that's not a hard and fast rule. There's always exceptions, but
there's always brick walls.
There's always goalies who just decide to forget how to play hockey. Tristan Jarry.
Or goalies who stand on their heads.
Turn into Yaroslav Halak.
Yep.
And they Halak a team out of the playoffs.
Halak 2 teams out of the playoffs.
But yeah, so we'll see. They got to start. They got to start winning at least 1 or 2 games a week and get some momentum back.
100%.
If they want to do anything. That's a Metro, though.
All right, cool. I'm going to start with the Pacific.
Okay.
West Coast, Best Coast. I don't actually believe that.
Both coasts have their issues.
All right. I'm going to switch it up again, and I'm starting with Vegas.
You're just going backwards?
I'm going backwards.
Oh, my God. He reverse Uno'd me.
Next time I'll skip you.
Next time we'll just leave a team out.
I'll think about it. Vegas.
Next week we'll just leave Arizona out and not talk about them at all.
It might be good for Seattle too. All right, Vegas, bad week.
Yeah.
0-2.
Ooh, I did see.
They're on a little bit of a slide.
I did see that they lost to Arizona.
They are 1-5 over their last 6 games. They are not having a good couple weeks.
No.
They are 29-20-4. They are in 3rd place in the division. I believe tied with Edmonton.
I know.
They're at the same level.
I know. What was their record?
29-20-4.
I think they're 1 point ahead of Edmonton.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Because Edmonton's 29-21-3.
I know Edmonton has 61 points because I was looking at the standings before, and they're tied with Dallas right now. No. Yes.
Yeah,
Dallas,
they are.
yes.
Yeah, like it's all right there.
Yeah.
All right. So they lost to Arizona, as Bert just said.
Yeah.
And then they lost to Colorado in a close game.
One of those is much more shameful than the other one.
I mean, Arizona's week wasn't. I don't remember.
I mean, they won 1 and 2. That was the one game that they won.
Yeah, okay, then never mind. All right. 0-4 in the power play. 5 for 5 on the penalty kill. Robin Leonard was on the IR. He got activated today. So.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That should help at least, I would think.
Brissois played both games, and he unfortunately lost both. Got nothing else to say about him.
Trade Jack Eichel. He's the problem, clearly.
Well, Leonard got put on the IR, and of course, because it's Vegas, everyone's just like, "Oh, they're about to trade him."
Yeah, I saw it. Anytime any higher profile player goes on IR now, everybody's like, "Oh, they're doing that bullshit where they're going to trade for someone else, and then the guy's going to come back game one." That's happened twice that I can think of.
Yeah, so it's.
And I think the league is very much cognizant of that now,
because it's
especially
Vegas.
with Kucherov. Yeah, that does seem like something Vegas would do.
But it's not the LTIR. It's just the IR.
No,
so
it wasn't. IR, I believe you have to be out a week.
Yeah, I think that's it.
And then you can come back, as long as you're healed. I believe that's the rule, though.
All right, we're gonna switch over to Vancouver because again, I don't really have anything else to say about Vegas.
Yeah, just bad week.
Slide.
Slip slide.
Well, yeah, they were.
They have a lot of injury problems
top
too.
Of the division, not as.
Well, Stone is still out, right? Leonard was out.
Yes, LTIR. Stone's on the LTIR.
Yeah.
Martinez is coming back. He still hasn't come back since that
so he's one
face laceration.
He's one of their top 4 defensemen.
He's a massive shot blocker.
Yeah. So they have been dealing with some injury issues, but to like some of their better players, but still sucks that they're on the slide.
Yeah. All right, so Vancouver 3-0.
Hey, look at them. They're not that far out of a playoff spot.
No, they are not. They are 26, 22, and 5.
I believe they were 3 points back of the last playoff spot. Mm-hmm. Come on, Vancouver. Come on, Barbecue Bruce.
Well, they're in a tough spot because they're talking about trades. Because of cap space.
Yeah, there's a few teams like that.
They're just like, hey, if we're still in a playoff hunt, why would we trade this away?
Yeah.
But at the same time,
I get it. I get that. I'll talk about them in a second, but Dallas is in that exact same position
100%.
where they're like, Dallas has a playoff spot right now, and they're like, but we could also trade people.
Right, exactly. It's difficult, but they beat Seattle.
Owners are going to start paying their coaches to lose games like the NFL.
Yep. They snapped Calgary's 10-game win streak.
They did, yeah.
7-1. And just snap it. They did just snap it. They crushed it. They went up 7-0.
Touchdown! Mm-hmm. That's not the only football score we had this week.
Nope. And then they beat the Rangers 5-2.
They did. Yeah.
So they had a great week.
I think maybe the Rangers got used up too much against the Penguins, and then they just went into that Vancouver game tired.
Not just the Penguins; they have a very short week, condensed schedule these past 2 weeks, so they could have just been tired. But
possible.
But Vancouver
capitalized on it.
Well, they went up 4-0. Like it wasn't a close game at all. 5 for 12 on the power play.
Wow.
8 for 8 on the penalty kill.
Nice.
With a shorthanded goal as well.
Excellent.
JT Miller had 2 goals and 6 assists in those 3 games.
What? Damn.
He's not the highest point scorer I have this week.
I think that beats most of my guys. Oh, no, it doesn't.
Thatcher
yes, it does. I'm sorry.
Thatcher Demko
saved
85 for 90 for a 9.44 save percentage and 1.67 goals against.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So he played all 3 games, so he got 3.
Was it this week that they wore their throwback jerseys too?
Oh, yeah,
those black jerseys?
Oh, yeah, they did.
I wish
For
they
the
would go back to
70s.
those jerseys.
The skate jerseys
are so sick.
Make that your alternate.
Oh, they're so nice.
See, I like the Canuck. Like, in the sense of, like, I like the Orca, I like the Sea. Yeah. But those skate jerseys,
they're all black, and then it's just like some red and gold.
Red and gold,
highlights in there. Oh, they look slick.
Oh, they were very nice. All right, keep going to Seattle, who are not good.
Less nice.
0-3-1 this week.
At least look at a high draft pick this year.
They're 16, 34, and 5. Well, if the expansion draft showed anything, they will do anything with it. That high draft pick, by the way.
You don't know that. I don't know. I look at it this way. Ron Francis, who is their general manager, basically made Carolina.
Yes, that is true.
He did get fired a few years before they reached their potential, but look at Carolina now.
That is true.
He drafted most of those players, and yeah.
Okay, so yes, that's fair.
So
The
I would trust Ron Francis what he's doing.
The expansion draft was bad, but through the actual draft,
here's
it would be different.
Here's the thing: people will compare it to Vegas, and that's not fair. You should compare it to the other expansion teams who were terrible.
Exactly. So he's on par with these other expansion teams. So, like I said, they lost to Vancouver. Bert said they lost to the Islanders. They lost to Boston in overtime, and then they lost to the Sharks last night. They don't get a top player.
No, not 0-3-1.
Not. Also, they gave up 16 goals in those 4 games.
Yeah. I feel like they're
not what you want.
I think they're gonna be pretty busy at the trade deadline.
They
have some guys who are okay and have some value.
I really think they're gonna trade Giordano, which I don't agree with. But
he already agreed to trade it.
I know. I don't agree with it.
I don't think he cares that much that he's their first captain. He might get traded back to fucking Calgary.
He might get traded back to Calgary. That'd
be
spot.
Funny. Yeah.
I know he doesn't care.
No. I don't understand why they named a captain, because Vegas didn't name a captain for the first 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and
I don't really know why they named a captain. You don't have to.
No, not at all. The Avalanche didn't have a captain for a little bit.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah.
And then they named Landeskog.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so over now on the power play, which doesn't help you.
Nope.
13 for 14 on the power play. Penalty kill.
That's pretty good, actually.
And he also got 2 shorties during that, so
that's
not
pretty
bad.
Good. Yeah, that's
not
bad
at all. But yeah, that's all I got for Seattle. Super easy. They're bad. All right, San Jose, 2-1-1 this week.
2-1-1.
I didn't realize they had such a good week.
Yeah, it is a pretty good week for them.
24, 23, and 6. So they're, except for those overtime losses, they're pretty even.
Yeah.
They had a shootout loss to Anaheim, shootout win against the Islanders, like you said. Lost to Boston outright, and then, like I just said, beat Seattle last night. They were 4 for 14 on the power play. 11
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and also 11 for 11 on the penalty kill, which is very good.
Yeah.
Brent Burns was their top scorer.
Well, I have not even heard his name once this year. Not just from you, from anybody.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
1 goal, 5 assists.
All right.
And then Logan Couture's right there with 3 goals and 2 assists.
Pretty good too.
And they both had 5 block shots.
Also pretty good.
Which you would like to see. In the Seattle game, both Scott Reedy and John Gadjevich. I had that game before I had beers.
That sounds close enough to me. I don't know.
It's Gadjevich.
Okay. Sure. I believe you.
Both scored their first NHL goals.
Hey, sick.
Yeah.
Hey, congrats.
So that's good for
those guys.
Yeah, they're 23, 24 respectively.
Yeah, that's more goals than I've ever scored.
Yeah, I can't,
at any level.
I can't even skate.
I can't even skate, man.
Next up is LA, who also had a very good week, going 3-0. They've now won 5 straight.
Yeah. LA is starting to solidify a playoff spot for
29,
themselves.
17, and 7.
Mm-hmm.
So they are right up there in second for the division.
Yep.
They beat Arizona, they beat Anaheim, and they beat the Islanders, like Bert said. 1 for 10 on the power play, 8 for 8 on the penalty kill. Penalty kill's good.
They're fine.
Trevor.
Power play's not horrible.
No. You like it a little bit.
Yeah. Another goal, and it would be good, but.
Trevor Moore had 1 goal, 3 assists.
Nice.
Arvidsson and Kempe had 2 goals and assists, and Kopitar and Roy had 1 goal and 2 assists.
Right on.
Also, in the Anaheim game, Jonathan Quick got his 350th career win.
Wow.
So he is he's one of only 3 active goalies to have that record.
I believe the other ones are probably Price and Fleury.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fleury's got 500.
Fleury's 3rd all time in wins right now. I think.
I think Price is at 360 or something like that.
Probably.
Price was shockingly low, but at the same time, he's missed so much time from injuries.
Well, yeah, now he has, yeah.
No, multiple years.
Multiple years.
So.
Yeah. It's Fleury and Price.
It is Fleury.
Because otherwise, I don't think anybody else has been around long enough or as successful.
So yeah, the LA is really turned it around.
Good. They've done a pretty good rebuild. They were only bad for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, they were a little mediocre for a long stretch of time.
But they were still would sometimes make the playoffs. But no, I like their. Now they got helped out by they didn't win the draft lottery, but they got second in the draft lottery and got Quentin Byfield.
Like he scored his second goal.
Yeah, and he's playing for them now too. So
he scored his second goal against the Islanders. So he's playing.
He's there.
Well.
Yeah, he's playing well. He's still a young guy. He's only 18 or 19, I think.
Exactly. So it's good to see.
Not everybody comes in the league and blows it up like McDavid did, but
rarely anybody.
Yeah,
does.
That's very rare for that to happen.
All right, done with LA. We're going to Edmonton. Not a good week. 1-2.
Ooh.
Losing to Tampa, beating Florida, and then losing to Carolina.
Well, yeah, I will say they did lose to 2 very good teams. So
they played 3 of the top teams.
Yeah, they did.
And they won.
They did beat Florida.
Yeah. They were 3 for 7 on the power play.
That's pretty good.
8 for 12 on the penalty kill.
Less good.
I don't know if I said their overall. It's 29, 21, and 3.
They are, I know because I just was looking at this, they are tied with Dallas for the last playoff spot in the West, but Dallas has a game in hand on them. So Dallas technically has the spot right now.
Yeah, they're at the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fun.
Again, I don't hate Edmonton. I want them to be better. I hate their management.
I mean it's just spicy in general.
Yeah. Them failing is fun because everybody has. It would be the same thing if the Maple Leafs would fall out of the playoffs. 100%. Everybody would have a fucking meltdown about it.
100%.
It would be fun to talk about.
Exactly.
But, I want them to succeed. I don't want them to fail.
Derek Ryan had 4 goals.
What?
This week.
Derek Ryan.
He scored his first career hat trick against Florida.
Good on him.
I'll
be honest, I was going to say, did not know that Derek Ryan was still in the league.
Yep. So yeah, I actually have a couple of teams that do have a top player, even though the team overall.
Yeah, I have a feel like that too.
But yeah, Derek Ryan, 4 goals.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. Old ass man. Still 4 years older than me.
Again, first career hat trick.
Hey, good for him.
That's awesome. Against Florida.
That's a real good team.
All right, Calgary's also a real good team.
Yes, they are.
2-1 this week. Losing to Vancouver, like I said. Beat Winnipeg. Beat Minnesota.
Boy, Vancouver was really reveling in that win too, because they beat the crap out of Calgary, and how good Calgary is.
100%.
It was nice to see for Vancouver and then be like, yeah, we did it.
Well, yeah, no, and then they just kept doing it. So we'll see how this week.
Might have been a big momentum pull for Vancouver. Yeah.
Tyler Toffoli is their top goal scorer. They have 2 top players. Tyler Toffoli, 3 goals and assists, and Blake Coleman had 1 goal and 3 assists.
Great. That Toffoli trade's looking better and better.
For
if he
Calgary,
keeps playing like that, yeah.
Calgary's 31, 14, and 6.
Really good.
Yeah.
Just going back to the Toffoli trade real quick.
Yeah.
That could be good for Montreal too.
100%.
Hasn't Montreal won 5 games in a row? Maybe it was the problem.
That's not true at all.
I know. I'm just joking.
Since they changed their
coach,
coach,
it really looks good for Calgary so far. Would you say he had 3 goals this week?
Yeah, 3 goals.
That's got to be 4 or 5 goals that he scored since getting to Calgary.
I think so. Yeah. They were 3 for 10 on the power play, which is good. 9 for 12 on the penalty kill, which is bad.
Yeah, that's not great.
1 shorthanded goal, which is good.
Kind of makes up for it a little bit.
Last up is Anaheim, who did have a bad week, 1-2. Yeah. They're kind of falling out.
Anaheim fell back down to earth.
They're where we thought they would be at the start of the season.
Which is okay.
They're still a fun team.
They're a young team.
Excited team. They're going to be great in the future. They were 0-9 on the power play, 8 for 10 on the penalty kill. Losses to were all mentioned already with San Jose, the Kings, and the Islanders. 29-17 21, and 9. And that's it for me. No, you don't get to play with this.
She's like, I wanted to be part of the show.
Yeah, you can be part of the show with another toy.
Ruth, you're so annoying today for some reason. I think it's because we're recording midday today, and so Ruthie is a little more energetic than she usually is around this time.
Go back to bed.
And she hasn't gone on a walk the last. It's because somebody is also on the IR. Let's talk about Arizona in the Central Division. They went 1-2, which is probably a good week for Arizona.
Yeah, it's not a bad week for them.
They did lose to LA, like Clay said, beat Vegas, like Clay said, and also lost to Winnipeg. They are 14, 35, and 4.
There's worse teams out there.
There are. 0 for 5 on the power play this week. Oh, I wanted to mention, in that Winnipeg game, no power plays at all for either team.
What?
It's so weird when that happens.
No,
There might have been actual penalty minutes in that game, but they were offsetting.
Yeah, or like a fight.
Or something. So no power plays for either team. Odd. They were 4 for 4 on the penalty kill this week as well.
Oh, that's good.
Jake Chychrun, goal and 3 assists. Who knows if he gets traded?
Who
At
knows?
the trade deadline. I still don't really understand why they want to trade him, but
I don't think they do.
he's like 23.
Exactly.
So
You keep him.
yeah, I would keep him. And he signed through 2025, I think, at a fairly reasonable cap
Yeah,
hit.
keep
So
him.
I don't know why they would even consider doing that, but whatever. I don't run the team, so.
Nope.
Andrew Ladd, who still plays in the league somehow, is out 4 to 6 weeks with a lower body injury.
I can see that.
Liam O'Brien is week to week with an upper body injury for Arizona, and that's it for them this week. Chicago, sorry, I had to burp. Chicago played 2 games this week, and they were 1-1 in those 2 games.
It's good for Chicago too.
Yeah, it is. They won 8-5 against New Jersey, like I mentioned before. Pretty crazy game.
Yep.
Not the craziest score that we had this week. And then they turned around and got shut out by St. Louis. So they scored all their goals against New Jersey for the week. 19, 27, and 8 are the Chicago Blackhawks on the season. 3 for 7 on the power play. Obviously, those were all against New Jersey.
Yep.
4 for 5 on the penalty kill. Patrick Kane had a hat trick and an assist against New Jersey.
Game, yeah.
But not to be outdone, I forget his first name, but Hagel also had a hat trick against New Jersey.
Good for him.
I think it's Brett Hagel.
Yeah, no, that.
Ruthie! Stop it. She was attacking Clay.
I had it going.
Stop antagonizing. So yeah, they had kind of a middling week for Chicago. Colorado, on the other hand, had a 3-1 week.
3-1.
Yeah. They did lose to Boston to start the week off, but then they beat Detroit, beat Winnipeg, and beat Vegas.
Yep.
39, 10, and 4 are the Colorado Avalanche. I believe they have a 2 or 3 point lead on the Carolina Hurricanes right now for first overall
Yep.
in the league. They were 1 for 13 on the power play this week. They still
Not
won.
what you want.
They still won. And that one power play goal was in the game that they lost.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
The only goal they scored.
That was, yeah. 8 for 10 on the penalty kill. They have 4 top players
Of course.
this week. Mikko Rantanen had 7 assists.
Mm-hmm.
Cale Makar had 6 assists. Gabriel Landeskog had 5 goals. And Nathan MacKinnon had 4 goals. So I had to mention all 4 of those guys, because they all 4 of them had good weeks. So Colorado keeps chugging along.
Yep. 100%.
Beating pretty much everybody that they play.
Yeah.
The Stars also had a very good week.
Mm-hmm.
2-0-1. They lost to Winnipeg in overtime. They beat Winnipeg in overtime to begin the week. Lost to Nashville in a shootout.
Yep.
And then they beat Buffalo as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they beat Buffalo bad. I watched that game.
Yeah, 4-2 was that game.
Scoreline's closer than what it was.
29, 20, and 3 are the Dallas Stars. So pretty good record, honestly. Yeah. Like I said, they got the last playoff spot in the West right now, but they are tied with Edmonton technically. 1 for 12 on the power play this week. 8 for 9 on the penalty kill. Jake Ottinger, who is their young goalie,
yes,
played all 3 games, 2-0-1. 162 goals against average, 939 save percentage. Real good week for the kid. He's their goalie of the future, it seems like.
Oh, 100%. Holtby's
Definitely.
there, but...
Holtby's there, just probably in more of a mentoring role.
100%.
They still have Khudobin, too.
In
I wonder if he
minors.
gets traded.
He's in the minors.
He is.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if they try to get something for Khudobin or Holtby. Honestly, they really only need one of those two guys.
One, yeah.
Moving on to Minnesota, who did not have a good week. 0-3 this week.
Have a good week.
Lost to Ottawa, lost to Toronto, and got belted by Calgary. 0 for 9 on the power play, 8 for 9 on the penalty kill, 31, 16, and 3. So still a good record.
Yeah, they're still in that.
Still a good record, but they're they got Nashville. I think they're in third in the Central right now. Nashville is right behind them.
Yep.
Those top 4 spots in the Central are tightly contested right now.
Forget about Colorado.
2 through 4 are tightly contested right now, and that's the 3 next teams that I'm talking about, actually, including Minnesota. They don't get a top player. Didn't have a good week.
No.
Greenway is out with an upper body injury, so that sucks for him. Nashville, who is the team that's right behind Minnesota, had a pretty good week, 2-1.
Yep.
Another team that beat Florida. I'm assuming Florida did not have a good week. Yeah. That's what I was thinking because I've heard 3 losses by them at this point.
They're 0 for 3.
So they did beat Florida. They beat Dallas in a shootout, and then they lost to Tampa Bay in a Stadium Series game.
Yeah.
On Saturday.
Their jerseys were weird.
Both jerseys were kind of weird.
I mean, you can't go too wrong with white.
Tampa Bay's was fine. Nashville's said Smashville on the front of it.
Yeah.
I get that that's their thing. But
I get it.
It looked bad. It was a close game, though. So, 2-1 on the week. 3 for 12 in the power play, including 2 for 4 against Tampa Bay in that Stadium Series game. But Tampa Bay was also 2 for 4 in that game.
Yep.
8 for 11 on the penalty kill. 30, 19, and 4 is Nashville's overall record.
Yep.
Philip Forsberg scored 2 goals and 2 assists this week. Sorry, I had a brain fart there.
Did you see that they might be trading him?
Yes, that's why I had a brain fart. Because
Yeah.
I was like, there's something else I wanted to say about Forsberg. Apparently, they're shopping him, or they're not, or maybe they are. Who knows? He's going to be a UFA at the end of the year. I'm assuming that contract talks have gone south.
Yeah, it seems like that they were. I know that's what Nashville.
I know
feels.
it's crazy, Ruth. Ruthie does not like them trading Philip Forsberg.
No, I mean I understand doing it, and
I get it. They would get a lot for him.
Oh, 100%.
They would get a lot for him. He's played great this year.
And also, apparently the Arvidsson trade last year.
Yeah, he did not like that. Well, because they're both from Sweden.
And they're good friends.
And they're buddies, so he did not like that trade.
Yeah.
I didn't like that trade very much either.
No.
I mean, I think they got a couple of draft picks for him, but
yeah.
I know he's doing great. He's doing great on the Kings. So look out. I mean, the Kings might be like, hey, we'll take the other Swedish guy you got too.
We'll give you Martin Nierat for him.
Yeah, you want to get him out of retirement and try to trade him back.
Yeah.
Him and Michael Lotta.
Yeah.
Get him back for the Capitals. Yeah. I mean, if it's true that he is available, a lot of teams are going to come calling.
Oh,
there's going to be a bidding war because, I mean, between the teams in the Central, other than Nashville, I don't think it'll be traded to the Central, but
unless it's Arizona.
But that would be funny.
That'd be great.
Between the top teams in the Metro, the top teams in the Atlantic, and the teams in the Pacific, there's going to be an arms race heading towards the playoffs. There is every year.
Yep.
So we'll see. Somebody, if it is true that he is available, somebody's going to pay top dollar for him. And then Nashville might make the playoffs anyway.
Right, exactly. So,
stop crying.
Forsberg's very good.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, but the last couple of years, he's had kind of injury-riddled seasons.
And been down a little bit, yeah.
But this year, he's been great. So
he's been his old self.
Yeah, so especially the last few weeks, he's been very good. So they're going to get a lot for him if they do actually trade for him. But we'll see in the next few weeks if that happens. St. Louis is up next, 3-0 this week.
Yes, they are.
They beat Philly, they beat Buffalo, and they beat Chicago. So they beat 3 bad teams, but they still beat 3 teams.
Yeah, exactly.
They still beat the teams Do not jump up here. You're being so disruptive this episode. That's why she's crying at you, because Clay took her toy away.
Yep.
So they beat 3 teams that they should have beaten. But you got to do that. That's what you got to do. 32, 14, and 6 are the St. Louis Blues. I believe that is good for second in the division right now, behind Colorado.
Yeah.
2 for 7 on the power play, 9 for 10 on the penalty kill. Very good week.
Yep.
Barbashev is their top player this week.
Haven't heard that name forever.
Yeah, I think he's kind of like in and out of the lineup. He's a younger forward, but he had a goal and 5 assists this week.
Good for him.
And Jordan Binnington had a good week too. 2-0. I know you don't love Jordan Binnington.
Not a fan.
2-0, 0.5 goals against average.
That's very
so
good.
1 goal in 2 games.
Oh yeah, no.
982 save percentage and that shutout against Chicago. So.
Is Husso not playing?
No, he must have played the other game this week. Yeah, but Binnington had top-notch numbers.
Oh, 100%.
Excuse me. Finishing. Oh, I'm sorry. Marco Scandella is on the IR with a lower body injury.
That's a shame.
So that sucks. Finishing off the Central Division with Winnipeg, they went 1-3 this week.
Really? It seems like you mentioned them in wins more.
It's weird. Winnipeg is just kind of weird this year. They're like, they have a good week, they have a bad week, they have another bad week, they have a good week. You know.
Yeah.
They're up and down a lot. They lost to Calgary, lost to Dallas. I'm sorry. They lost in overtime to Dallas, so they're actually 1-2-1.
Okay.
My mistake.
Yeah.
They lost to Colorado, and then they beat Arizona. Overall record of 23, 21, and 9. Not great.
No.
Especially when you take into account those overtime losses. The only reason they're anywhere close to a playoff spot is that is by way of the the loser points.
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry, I'm laughing because Clay took her toy away again. If you were gonna play,
no, I saw
the whole thing was gonna fall over.
I did see that. Yeah.
We still don't have a table because we're at my place where I don't have a table. So anyway, back to Winnipeg. Kyle Connor did have a good week. 3 goals and an assist.
I mean, it's not surprising. He's super good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Cole Perfetti, who is their good young forward, is on IR with an upper body injury, and Christian Reichel is also on IR with a lower body injury. Sucks.
Unfortunate. Yeah.
But that's it for Winnipeg. Not much to say about them. They're like sort of close to a playoff spot. I think they're 6 points out, so they're not far out. But I don't know. I wouldn't trust them to play well enough. Oh, that was mean.
Yeah, it was.
I wouldn't trust them the way that they're playing. Now you made her cry.
Yeah, it's fair.
For them to make a playoff run.
You go deal with that, and I'll talk about Toronto.
Okay, start talking.
All right. I didn't think she'd cry.
And you're gonna make me stand up and walk. I have a foot injury.
All right.
No, I'm gonna do it. No, go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna start off with Toronto, without Bert's feedback. It's not necessary.
I'm in the background.
They went 2-1-1 this week.
Would you say 2-1-1?
2-1-1. Yep. 34-14-4 is their record. They lost to Montreal.
Ooh.
They lost to Columbus in overtime.
Ooh.
Beat Minnesota outright. And the game that we've all been kind of alluding to with Detroit.
Oh yeah.
Won 10-7 with Detroit. That is correct. 10-7.
Not a football score.
Not a football. It was a football score. In that game, they almost blew it, being up 5 goals, 8-3.
They gave up 6 goals in the third period.
Yes, they gave up 6 goals in the third period, bringing them to 8-7, and then put the game away to make it 10.
God damn it. Keep going. And we're back.
Yes, we're back. Alright, so like I said, almost blew that 8-3 lead, but then put it away with a shorthanded goal against Detroit. That game was
crazy.
Absolutely insane. We had 3 goalies getting pulled because they pulled Nedeljkovic after the first, pulled Grease after the second.
It's Grace.
speak German.
It's his name. That's how you say it.
I know. But yeah, Campbell got yanked as well, so we had 3 different goalie pulls, which is fun.
Yeah.
Matthews and Marner are the top players just because of this crazy game. 4 goals and 5 assists for both of them.
Oh, for both, really?
For both.
Huh. I know that. Didn't Marner scored 4 goals in that game, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So all of his goals came in that game. They were 0 for 7 on the power play, 10 for 11 for the penalty kill.
In that whole
in the whole week,
10-7 game, they didn't score a power play.
Not a single power. Well, they didn't have a power play.
Really?
Not in the Detroit game.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, absolutely insane.
Nuts.
Tampa Bay's up next, 2-0 this week with beating Edmonton and Nashville, like was mentioned. They were 34-11-5 this season. Steven Stamkos and Nikita Kucherov are their top players, both with 2 goals and 2 assists. 3 power plays. 3. That was bad.
What happened?
3 for 8
okay.
on the power play.
3 power plays.
3 power plays. 2 for 5 on the penalty kill, which is
no.
All right. Keeping it going. If I can turn this page to Ottawa, 1-1. Beating Minnesota, like Bert mentioned, losing to Montreal. Don't have much to say about that. Yeah. It's unfortunate because that was Matt Murray's first game back.
Oh, yeah, he got hurt again.
Yeah, and again, no run support for Matt Murray. He saved 30 for 32. But 19, 27, and 5. 2 for 8 on the power play. 7 for 7 on the penalty kill. It's good. Thomas Chabot and Connor Brown were the top 2 players, with Chabot having 2 goals and an assist, and Connor Brown having 3 assists.
Nice.
Really talk about Montreal right now.
Yeah.
They're
making a run to the playoffs.
Oh, they're going to the playoffs now. 3-0 this week.
Goddamn.
They've won 5 straight. Martin
St. Louis apparently was the correct choice.
Or Duchesne was the worst choice.
Was a bad choice. Yeah.
Possible. Because since St. Louis took over, they've lost 1 game, and that was his first game.
And Cole Caulfield's been like a monster since
Scoring
he took
2
over.
goals and 3 assists this week.
Yeah.
Nick Suzuki has 2 goals and an assist. So before St. Louis, Cole Caulfield only had 1 goal.
Yeah, he was having a bad season.
Like 5 assists.
Yeah.
He's scored 5 goals and like 6 assists.
Makes you wonder what Ducharme, or however you say his name, is. What the hell he was telling Cole Caulfield to do?
Oh, 100%.
Clearly, it was not correct.
They beat Toronto.
They did.
Shut out Buffalo.
Jeez.
Beat Ottawa.
They're fucking up their tank.
Montembeault had that shutout against Buffalo. 0 for 7 on the power play, which is not great.
No, but they still won. So.
7 for 8 on the penalty kill, which is fine. And then Andrew Hammond also has got another win under his belt.
Hamburgling those wins.
Florida had a bad week.
Yeah.
0 for 3, like we mentioned, losing to Nashville, Columbus, and Edmonton. 3 for 12 on the power play. 5 for 7 on the penalty kill. They're still 35-13-5, so very good. They do have top players because John Huberdeau had a goal and 4 assists, and Sasha Barkov had 2 goals and 2 assists. They scored 10 goals in those 3 games.
Just couldn't keep them out of their net.
No, just could not keep it out of their net. I love how now you decide to be good, Doug.
Well, it's because she got yelled at when we turned the mics on, or when we paused there for a second.
Yeah.
She also broke a mic when we took our pause, so she knows she's in trouble. So now she's laying here next to me, acting like she was the best dog ever.
The entire time, yeah. All right. The worst dog of all time is Detroit.
It's okay. I know you didn't mean to.
I don't know how that works. 0 for 2 this week.
Not even a dog.
I know. Are there any dog teams?
Coyotes.
Oh, okay.
They're the worst dog.
They are the worst.
Actually, you know who's the worst dog in the league? Is the mascot for Calgary that we went over earlier in the season.
That lion?
No, he's a dog. There's also a lion. Who was the lion? That was it Ottawa? I don't remember. I just remember the dog because he has that long tail that hangs out.
The tongue?
Yeah, that's the Calgary Flames.
Oh, shoot.
I don't remember who the lion is. I do remember. I can see it in my eyes.
I see that lion. Yeah.
I remember that was Ottawa. Maybe.
I think it was Ottawa. I forgot about it. I was seeing that dog.
We should revisit all the mascots.
All right, 0 for 2. 23, 24, and 6. They're kind of definitely falling out of that playoff race.
Definitely.
Like Bert said, they lost to Colorado. Like I said, they lost to Toronto. They do have a top player because, again, there's so many goals scored. 9 goals in 2 games. Philip Hronek had 1 goal and 3 assists. Mo Seider had 4 assists. So those are both defenders.
That's
they are. What you like to see.
Mo Seider might win the Calder. I feel like he's got to be the favorite.
Should win the Calder. Yeah. Trevor Zegras is the only one who can.
There's that kid on Toronto, Bunting too, who's having a good season, but I think Mo Seider's going to win it probably.
Lucas Raymond's also having a good season.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Like,
I don't know. I just have heard the most about Maurice Seider and everybody be like, whoa, this kid's good.
Because he's putting up the same numbers as Cal McCarron, his rookie.
True. Yeah, true.
Season. Yeah. 1 for 6 on the power play for Detroit. 3 for 3 on the penalty kill, which is good.
Yeah, those are both fine.
Buffalo's up next. They went winless, 0-3. Losing to Montreal. I'm getting shut up by Montreal, like I said. Losing to St. Louis, like Bert said, and losing to Dallas, also like Bert said. They don't have a top player. 1 for 5 on the power play. 5 for 7 on the penalty kill. They are 16, 30, and 8.
Damn.
Last up is Boston, who went 3-0 this week.
I didn't realize you did this one backwards as well.
Yeah, I did.
Because I was dealing with Rufy when you started. You big old crybaby.
Big old cryberry baby.
In case anybody's wondering, the thing I said that Clay did that was mean was he threw her toy behind the gate into the kitchen.
And it started everything.
And then she started crying and then running around and then barking and then
put her upstairs.
Ran.
And then started
screaming. She came back down and broke a mic.
It's great.
And then she got yelled at. And now she's been good.
In the Colorado game that Bert mentioned.
Yes.
That was Marchand's last game suspended.
Oh, right.
Colorado talked a bunch of crap before the game and then got spanked. So
yeah, well, he didn't play. So
exactly, he didn't play. They need him to spank Colorado's butt.
I would say that's more of an aberration than if they somehow meet in the Stanley Cup Finals. Boston's gonna win.
True,
I don't believe that.
It's one of those things like, be careful about talking crap. The day of a game.
Says the guy who called was it Vinny Trocheck a Prius and called himself a Lamborghini and then proceeded to lose that game against Carolina pretty bad.
And I clowned him for that too.
Yeah, that's true. Well, then this is also the same guy that when that happened or something. Oh no, when he's told Panarin that nobody in Russia likes him.
And said the league was soft.
And said the league was soft because he reacted. Then got pissy when Tristan Jarry was like, "How about that save?" And then punched Jarry in the head.
I'm just saying, be careful of smack talk before a game.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You're right.
I'm not clowning them for losing to Boston. I'm clowning them for calling him Mr. Suspension and then getting smacked by Boston. Fine, I'm clowning them. Don't listen to Boston. Be better than that. Boston also beat the Blue Jackets in Edmonton, like we both mentioned before. Nope. They beat Seattle and St. Louis, San Jose, like I mentioned before. 1 for 11 on the power play, 9 for 11 on the penalty kill. Pasta had 3 goals and 2 assists in those 3 games, and Boston is 31-17 and 4.
Still pretty entrenched as the number one wild card.
100%, yeah.
Is that it?
That's it. We're done.
All right. Well, other than the interruptions by somebody, that's another episode of Buzzed Pucks, with a little dog interlude there as well.
And our beer by Brewdog.
I was going to say, I guarantee she's about to start crying because her toy is upstairs now.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening. As always, you can follow us on @BuzzPucks on Twitter. Give us a like, give us a review, give us a subscribe, or all of that good stuff.
Don't praise Ruthie; she doesn't deserve it.
Don't praise Ruthie; she was being bad. She got talking to when we paused. Stern talking to when we paused. But she's fine. Now she's back to crying again. Anyway.
Second time she's broken that mic.
That's true. She broke it after the last. Well, no, I broke it.
Oh, I thought she jumped on it.
It was both of us that did it.
Okay.
I wouldn't blame her for that, but this time she sat on it and broke it again. What a dog. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week for week 21.
Same puck time.
Same puck channel.